Hello Commanders, this is Shadow Dr. K on video attempt 22. I have managed to do a lot of stupid items in the last videos, like blowing up a fighter, running my ship into the ground while descending on the Guardian structure by accidentally clipping the boost button on my HOTAS. You name it, I've probably done it. That's why I'm at 93% haul. I've also realized that I exceeded my power plant capacity, incidentally, and drifted slowly down into the abyss of the ground. So I'm just going to float here, not trying to do anything too crazy, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about A.L.I.C.E. That way I don't have to do the next video attempt. So what is A.L.I.C.E? A.L.I.C.E is a configurable in-flight assistant. A.L.I.C.E stands for Artificial Limited Interfacing Command Extension. What that really means is she provides you status reports, recommendations, the ability to control your ship by voice, and other items of backup for the player. So what does A.L.I.C.E really do? A.L.I.C.E allows you to control the basic equipment on your ship through voice commands, and also button macros. She gives you the ability to learn as a new player. She provides negative feedback on things she can't complete, or when something's not a valid lineup. For example, when you're in Super Cruise and you try to deploy your weapons, or when you're lined up for a jump and your weapons are deployed and you try to enter hyperspace. She'll give you negative feedback on those items. That way she can reinforce teaching newer players the way to play the game correctly. She'll also give you negative feedback when something's already done. Retract weapons.
Already retracted.
There you go. She'll tell you when she's failed to complete an order, or when an order can't be completed. For example, I'm targeting the Guardian structure right now. Hyperspace.
Jump inhibited by mass lock. Standing by.
Alright. Max engines. Boost. Cut the engines.
Aligning for hyperspace. Frame shift drive configuration error. Failed to engage.
As much as I want to fly back down there, I'm pretty sure I'll just end up crashing, so I'm going to float down slowly. Alright, some other things that she does. She'll give reports on items of interest. I'm not sure if I've already covered this, because I've done like 20-some videos. But she'll provide the bounty reports on newly targeted wanted targets. She will provide reports on if it's a hostile faction that you're targeting. She also adds extra layers of protection to back up the player, providing weapon safety interlocks when you're in the no-fire zone. So if you give her the order to deploy weapons while you're in the no-fire zone, she will ask you for confirmation, informing you that weapon safety interlocks are engaged. She'll give the warnings about insufficient rebuys, insufficient fuel levels, no crew installed while there's a fighter on board, for when you're doing pre-flight checks, when you give her the order to launch. So she backs up the player on a lot of items that would typically be something that you would go back to the station for. For example, when you're mining and you have a limpet controller on board and you have no limpets, and you go to the mining site and realize, wow, I have to fly all the way back to the station to get limpets because I forgot to grab them. A.L.I.C.E can back you up on that too. She'll report station information when you're docking, the economy type, the state of the station, whether it's in boom or if it's in bust. She'll give you information on the allegiance of the station, if it's Federation aligned or if it's a Alliance aligned or if it's an independent. The best part is she gives you funny responses on things. She can be a little snarky, but a lot of those responses are configurable by the player. So you can go in and add your own responses to A.L.I.C.E, and she'll use those responses, which will be supplied in another video on how to do that. So, why did I design Alice? Originally, it was a passion project, something I wanted to do because I just enjoyed playing the game, and I wanted to be able to enjoy playing the game with a little bit more convenience. I got tired of always looking for certain menus, for certain easy to obtain items, things that you should typically have displayed to you. For example, I believe that the bounty amount for a wanted target should be displayed on the target interface when it's targeted. It's not, so I have her report it to me. Items like that. I eventually shifted over for community development because there were a lot of people interested in Alice. So right now, the community drives the focus of development. They tell me the features that they're interested in seeing, and I try my best to implement those. I also have configured Alice for ease of personalization and add-ons. She's very compatible with a variety of other apps. So the real question is, how much does Alice cost? Well, Alice is free. It's for the community. I have no intent on charging anyone for Alice. If you ever see Alice on a site that where you have to pay for it, let me know, and I'll give you a link to a free version of it that's always going to be posted as soon as it's released. Now, be aware, Alice is able to function on 2 different platforms. Initially, the release is going to be done on Voice Attack, and that is a paid platform, which is very well defined and well rounded. It has a lot of good support. I am also supporting another platform called Voice Macro, which is free and is still catching up in development on some features that will be able to support Alice here in the near future. So the last question is, how can the players and the community contribute? Well, give me your ideas. That's really it. Whenever you want a feature or something that you'd like to see envisioned into the project, post about it. And credit will be given to the appropriate commanders for the new features, and new features will be added as they're developed. You guys run the focus of development. I plan on trying to get Alice released before the end of this year, well before the end of this year. I would like to get it released before Christmas. So please bear with me while I complete the final touch-ups, dotting my I's and crossing the T's, and I'll make sure that Alice is ready for your enjoyment. If you have any question, guys, post it down in the section below, and I'll respond with what information I can.